Guys, what's up? This is the continuation on the topic of the value of a dollar. Listen, guys, as I said, whether you're young, old, it doesn't matter how old you are, it does not matter what type of job you have, how much you make annually. What matters is the mindset. What matters is how you think, how you feel about money. So, as I asked earlier in the video, was asking you to get your finances in order, asking you to care enough about yourself, your circumstances, and then moving forward, I'm asking you to learn about the value of a dollar and learning that it starts with you knowing what you have coming in, what you have going out. I also want to share with you a lesson that I learned in um, a lesson in money. Um, at some point in time in my life, I felt like I was entitled to have whatever it was that I wanted. I wasn't thinking about if I spent all my money, if I spent my entire paycheck, how much would be coming back to me, what I had to hold on to. I was not even thinking about any of that. I was young and immature. I was not raised with my parents teaching me about the dollar. All I knew was that my mom worked, my dad worked. They both worked in healthcare. They both made pretty good money, and they both was able to sustain themselves, and they did pretty good for themselves as well as for us, their children. My grandmother, as far as I knew, she was not working. She stopped working at a very early age because of a health condition that she had, which led her to disability, which meant she got money once a month. And one thing about my grandmother, she made that money stretch for them 30 days. She actually budgeted it out, what she had to pay out, what she had coming in, what she had going out, her bills, everything that was important, she took care of right off the top. And then she just either held on to money. I don't know if she just set it aside or if she just held on to it. She did a lot of things that she chose to do, and she financed things. She financed a lot of things, appliances, things of that nature, which I don't think she realized at that time she was really paying double for. I thought she was in control of money, and it did appear that way. Yes, she pretty much was in control of her monthly income, but what she wasn't in control of was she still did not think about, I'm going to buy this item right here, and I'm going to spend it. I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to pay double the money for it because she was financing it. She was financing it. She didn't have the mindset of money. She knew that she needed to make her money stretch throughout the month because that was the only source of income that she had. But what she didn't know was that the items, or I shouldn't say didn't know, but what I look back on now and say, Grandma, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to pay double for that washing machine. You didn't have to pay double for that refrigerator. Saying that to say, guys, that my lesson that I had to learn was I moved to New Jersey. I took my family, my ex-husband, my children. We moved to New Jersey, which New Jersey can be the housing in New Jersey can be very expensive. The taxes in New Jersey can be very expensive. And it was expensive. At that time, both my ex-husband and I were working. And as I said, my thoughts on money was that I had it coming in. We had a couple of streams of income, so I felt comfortable enough to spend and splurge. And what I didn't realize then that I realize now is that I had some emotional issues that was not dealt with. Those undealt with emotional issues led me to emotional spending. I abused money. If I didn't like what was said to me, if I was upset about something or was in a funky mood, I would just go and spend money. And that's emotional spending. That's bad. That is very bad, guys. So imagine not having a good money mindset, not realizing, not knowing about the value of a dollar, and then emotional baggage, emotional issues. I was splurging on shoes, splurging on jewelry. I was just spending money because not just because I had it, but I was spending money just because I felt like it. I was spending money if I was mad. And how many of you know that when you do that, you only get that momentary high? You get that fix just for a moment. You get that fix, you get that high, you go home, you got your bags, you got your shoes, you got your pocketbooks, you got your jewelry, and you putting it in a closet with the other stuff that you just bought last week or maybe even a couple of days ago. And guess what? You're back to having those feelings that led you to that mall to go get those shoes. So my issue was, yes, spending foolishly, not thinking about why I was spending. Well, not thinking about why I was spending. I knew why I was spending it. It felt right to me. It felt good, and I had it. But just because you have it does not mean that you need to spend it. Guess why? Because who knew that the ex-husband was going to get into a major car accident that took him out of work and landed him on disability? So what happened? That two income that we had, that two income family that we went down to one income. We had stash, we had a savings, we had a vacation savings, but one income, and the one income that we had was the income of the girl with the stinking thinking, the one who did not know how to manage money, the one who was an emotional spender. So imagine the stress of living in a beautiful house. Yeah, that was beautiful. That wasn't a stress. But having to pay the high behind mortgage, the high behind taxes, having the stress of that, and then also having the stress of knowing that my ex-husband's income, it was gone. It was gone, and we had to wait on a settlement. How many of you know the mortgage companies don't want to hear, oh, you waiting on a settlement? Oh, is that right? Pico, the gas company, they don't want to hear that you're waiting on a settlement, okay? They can care less. All they want is their money that's due to them that month, right? Am I right? Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so here's this girl with this emotional baggage who don't know the value of a dollar, who really didn't even care at that point, had 3 teenagers in school who I was responsible for giving lunch money to every day. It was the weight of the world on my shoulders, okay? The weight of the world I was carrying to and from Philadelphia, going back and forth to work, over the bridge, gas money, toll money. It was just a lot. So I was also a Christian in the church, tithing. So this big dilemma that we had, now we're down to this one income, and I says to the ex, hey, listen, I don't think we need to pay tithes, because I'm looking for us to be able to keep more money in. He said, oh, no. And if you know that Christians are tithe payers, right? So you're supposed to pay 1/10 of your earnings, right? Am I right? Okay. So some of us do pay that 1/10 of our earnings. And I ain't saying I'm faithful with it, because Lord knows I'm not. I am not a faithful tithe payer. At one point in time I was on the ball with it. But I fell off. At that time, I felt like, no, this we can't do this. But how many of you know when you're consistent and you're faithful, you're obedient to the word, and you're paying those tithes, that what you got going out, God can